Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, and I hope you're blessed this Tuesday evening. This and every other Tuesday at 8 p.m., you'll be joining me and fellow panelists for the program, The Law and You. My name is Kenneth Mbaabu. Karibu sana. The last time we had a discussion on the law and you, we were talking about the criminal justice system. And we are very pleased on the reviews that we have had and the questions that we have had in over the email, phone calls, and even on our social media programs. Some of the questions that people were asking when it comes to the criminal justice system is the structure of the criminal justice system. And one interesting question that we got is the issue of the chiefs. Chiefs, yes. Chiefs are very key, critical players in any nation, especially in the nation of Kenya. And people were asking, are the chiefs part of the criminal justice system? And this is what I can say on the issue of the chiefs. Maybe you can start from defining the criminal justice system. The criminal justice system, as we explained the last time, is the process from the courts, the DPP, that's the Director of Public Prosecution, the police station, the DCI, Director of Criminal Investigations, the victims who have been wale wamekosewa, and even the person, the accused person, the person who has been accused of perpetrating a crime. Those are the people that make up the criminal justice system. So from this definition, we find the chief, we cannot say he's not a player in the criminal justice system, because pale mashinani and even in our places where we live, mtu akiwa na shida yote, the first place they go to is the headman or the chief. But the biggest challenge we have been having is that people do not know the powers of the chief. And sometimes we have been thinking maybe the chief is too powerful than the way we take him or he's supposed to be. So you'll find a situation whereby the chief will listen to people and eventually make a decision. There's a joke somewhere, I heard that there's a chief, alisikiza kesi baadaye akasema wewe toa mbuzi mbili ama toa mbuzi tatu. If you are going for mediation, na nyi wawili mekubaliana, wacha tuende chief atusikize, yes, it can be part of your solution. But if you are not satisfied, and this is very, very critical, if you are not satisfied, you have a right to say, I do not agree with the decision of the chief, tuende kotini. And the way to go to the court, we explained last time. You have to go to a police station, go record an OB, call occurrence book. The police officer will do his investigations. He will prepare a file. If he is satisfied, these are files that are supposed to go to court, he will take it to his boss, who is the OCS at that point. And the OCS will approve, aseme ni sawa, nimeona ushahidi, nimeona documents, hii inastahili kwenda kotini. But for checks and balances, hiyo file huwezi toka hapo iende kotini straight. So what happens, you'll find that the sheria vile imewekwa ni OCS akimaliza ana forward the file to the DPP. The Director of Public Prosecution, ama wale wanasema prosecutor, au ndio wanachukuanga file. Angalia hii file aone hii ni kitu ya ukweli. Ni kitu ambayo inastahili kwenda kotini. Kuna haki ambayo inatendeka. Na kama akikuja a notice hakuna haki, he has the right to cancel, dismiss it and take it back to the OCS, amwambie fanya uchunguzi zaidi, ama just leave that, watu waende nyumbani. If he is satisfied, now he will take the case to court. Na ikifika kotini, ndio sasa tunakuta judge pia. Judge asikize ushahidi kutoka pande zote mbili, na akisikiza ushahidi ndiye ataamua kama uko na makosa ama uko na makosa. So from where we are, yes, the chief is a critical player in our society, but astahili kukufinyilia kama uko ready kufinyiliwa na chief. Maybe sisi wawili tuende pale na tukubaliane, wacha tusikize chief. The same way unaweza enda kwa mchungaji, useme wacha tuende kwa pastor wetu atusikize, na vile pastor ataamua tunakubaliana naye. Ama wacha tuende kwa anko yangu, ama tuende kwa mtu mwingine. The only difference is that in case you do a mistake, in areas chiefs walikuwa hata pale na polisi wa AP wale walikuwa nakaa chiefs camp. wanaweza kushika, but hata wakikushika wanastahili kukupeleka to the police station for processing. I hope that is clear for the person who asked the question on the issue of the chiefs. And yes, there's someone else who asked, DCI, mara unasikia DCI amekushika, mara unasikia ni polisi imekushika, where's the demarcations? The DCI is part of the police, and that's the reason why they are answerable to the Inspector General. The Inspector General, he has his assistants, and one of the people ambao wako chini Inspector General ni the DCI head, who in our current time I think is Kinoti, Mr. Kinoti. So because of that, the DCI is part of the police station. But because of the way the nation is, there are different specializations. Ndio maana unakuta hata KWS iko idili na mifugo. Kuna wengine wanaitwa ni rangers ama ni air, wadili na mambo ya wale wako huko kwa border. Kuna APs, kuna GSU. All these people, all of them, especially the recent reforms, they are all under the Inspector General of Police. So they are all police officers, but even in the police station utakuta unaambiwa enda traffic desk, ama unaambiwa enda kwa special crimes, ama unaambiwa enda kwa wale wanadili na murder cases or something. So that's something that we need also to learn, that the DCI is part of the police, and wamewekwa hapo just to ensure that we have proper justice system, we have a proper working of the nation. The other question that came up, and different people waliuliza maswali, it's the issue of defilement, ama ubakaji. Ojo, there's the issue of rape. Rape is whereby you have sexual intercourse without the permission of a person, which can be even a person who is old, over 18, sim total. But defilement is very special and very key, because it means you had sexual relationship with a child. And it's a very sad thing, because the way our nation is, ama vile nchi inakuanga, unakuta mtoto ana haki ya kusema hapana ama ndio. Ni sawa hata kama ulikatia mtoto wako na miaka 17 years 9 months, amebakisha tu miezi 2 awe the age of majority, afike 18. If ukishikwa uli have sex na yeye, huwezi sema alikubali, ama yeye ndiye alikuja kaniambia anataka ku have sex. You as the adult utashikwa. Na hizo cases zinaitangwa defilement. And because defilement was happening very much, na ilikuwa under the Criminal Procedure Code, but there was need to have an act of parliament to be able to kupunish na kusaidia watoto ambao wamefinyiliwa. Because of that, there was a Sexual Offences Act. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you, that act, ukishikwa umebaka ama umedefile mtoto, it is very tough. And I would like to request our young men, our young daughters who are over 18, please stop any sexual relationships with people under 18. Kama wamekubali ama wamekataa. As a church, we would advocate for sexual purity until marriage. But please, if you ever have sexual relationships with young children, no matter if they are said yes or no, I will take you through in a very simple session, and maybe one of these days we'll be able to go deeper into the defilement issue. One, the challenge with defilement, if the child is less than 12 years and below, you will be in for life. And the way it is conducted, haijawekwa vile ati tumpatie 10, 5 years hapana. If it's 12 years and below, it's proved you have defiled a child, you go in for life. 12 to 15 years, you go in for a minimum of 15 years and above. Then ukifika 16 years, because 16 years labda alikudanganya, ndio unapatiwa 10 years. So the minimum when defilement is proven is 10 years. Kama alikuwa anajua, kama ndiye alikuja kukutafuta, why are you risking your life to go in for 10 years minimum? Yes, there are people wanaonewa, and there are mothers who are taking advantage, especially in the form of settlement in Nairobi. Siku hizi mnaendanga mnakosana kidogo, unasikia mama anapiga nduru, alikuwa anataka kushika mtoto wangu. There are people taking advantage. And what I advise the young people, do not allow yourself to be left in a room with a child that is not your relative or you know that child. Do not allow even to play with children that enda pale kwa kiwanja kila mtu anakuona. Because if in case uwekelewe, the burden of proof becomes yours. Because whenever a court says, anko alinishika, auntie alinishika, my friend, utaingia ndani. The evidence of a child to challenge it in court, it is very, very, very hard. Someone else asked, when defilement happens, what do you do? Umekuta hata mtoto amebakwa, wewe ni mama, ama wewe ni, ama hata kama ni rape, even ya mtu mkubwa, what do you do? My advice I tell for whenever you have that, please do not shower. Usioge. I know at that point you feel very dirty, very defiled, and very bad psychologically, but please do not shower. First thing, go to a government hospital or the nearest hospital. The reason I'm saying government hospital is because all government facilities, hospitals, they have a sexual desk, sexual assault desk. And if you go to any hospital, useme huyu amebakwa ama amerepiwa, the first thing they'll do, they'll take sperm, ama they'll swap for DNA tests. This is very important. The clothes that ulikuwa nazo, remember our process. Itabidi tuende kwa police station, tutoke kwa police station, tuende kwa DPP, tutoke kwa DPP, tuende kotini, tuende for plea taking. Kesi inaweza sikizwa hivi after 1 year. Nguo zile uko nazo usiweke kwa paper bag ya nylon. Tafuta gazeti, wrap, ili hiyo DNA isiweze kuharibika. So nguo zote ambazo uko nazo, zirap vizuri, underwears, usitupe, kuna wale wanaoshanga, zirap hivyo ziko. Enda hospitali, ataswipiwa na atatritiwa. The good thing when you go to hospital, the hospital will take care of you. So that you don't get diseases, so that you don't get all these manner of cases of pregnancies and everything. The hospital knows what to do. And you encourage, within 24 hours, please can you rush to the nearest hospital, nasema kile imefanywa. After that, you can go shower, go for counseling. It's advisable because it will take time. The cases like defilement take time. They will take years. After that, ukitoka hospitali, sasa kimbia police station. For you to report, si lazima huyu mama kama mama ama mtoto bado ni mgonjwa, unaweza muacha hospitali, wewe unaenda kama mzazi, ama kama mama ama kama mzee, unaweza enda ureport police station ili waeze kuanza the process ya kushtaki huyo mtu na kuendelea kumshika. And then defilement cases will go on. We have promised we will be here for the longest hour. So one of these fine days will deal in details on the issues of defilement. The other thing you ask, watu usikizana kotini, wanatoa kesi kotini. Kwa defilement inawezekana, I'll tell you for sure, kesi zote zinaendanga kotini as a complainant. Mnaweza zungumza na msikizane. And the Constitution of Kenya 2010 was very clear on the issue of out-of-court settlement, ama alternative dispute resolution. The court wants people to reconcile. That's the first thing of the court. But there are some cases where you don't just reconcile. One of them is defilement. Another one is murder. Uwezi kuja leo useme nataka kusamea mtu, na ule aliuawa alishakufa. Ati mimi ndio bibi ya ule aliuawa, ama mimi ndio mtoto ule nataka kumsamea. Hapana, hiyo uwezi. Defilement uwezi. So akunanga hii kesi ya tutasikiza kesi huko nje kwa mti, chini wazee watakutana wapatiwa mbuzi 19. Hapana. When it comes to defilement, it's very, very, very critical. So it is very hard for us to withdraw these cases. You cannot even do out-of-court settlement. The court will not even allow you. Because this is a small child. Why you the issue, unless someone is under 18, you imeenda hivyo. So that's the issues of the criminal justice system. People have also asked on the issues of about the criminal justice system. They have asked on the issue of settlement. About out of court settlement. Yes, they are there, and the court encourages, especially on this petty. This junior ameiba funguo zangu, ameiba pesa yangu. The court will encourage. In fact, hata siku ya kwanza kotini, mtaulizwa mwezi ongea msikizane. So it's very important. Ukienda pale usiende na kiburi. Na kitu ingine ambayo tulisema last time, tafadhali. Whenever you go to the police station, whenever you are taken to court, engage the services of a lawyer. There are a lot of people who are in prison, and they are innocent. because they do not know how to defend themselves. I know people say lawyers are expensive, but I believe there's no amount of money worth your freedom. And even there are, sometimes even as lawyers, we also deal pro bono cases where we represent people for free. There are those kind of organizations. Go get them, go get advice. Now, I hope I finished on the questions of the criminal justice system, but I've said we'll still engage more as we continue. Now, this month of October, from this month of October, every Tuesday at 8, we want to do a series on employment issues. Employment issue, it's everything. It's about life. Because employment gives you money. And where money is talked about means it's your source of livelihood. And a lot of people, you are either listening to me as an employer, when it's ajiri, or when umeajiriwa. And employment cases, it has become the new big thing in Kenya. In fact, let me give you this example. Before the new judges of employment court walikuwa appointiwa na President juzi, ulikuwa unaambiwa the next date available was in 2025. That's how clogged the employment cases are. And we have sat down and we have thought, this is the next discussion we need to know. Do you know your rights as an employer? Do you know your rights as an employee? And as I said the last time, everything is based on the Constitution. And the Constitution of Kenya in Article 41 speaks on the issue of employment, labor relations. And today is just an introduction. I just want to mention the few things the Constitution talks about. Then from next Tuesday, we'll delve deeply into each and every detail of it. One, every person has the right to fair labor practices. What does the Constitution mean? Ama Wakenya wakipitisha hii walikuwa wanasema aje. Every person has the right to fair labor practices. Fair labor inamaanisha leo asubuhi my employer, tajiri wangu hastahili kuamka asubuhi anifukuze. Wewe kama mwajiriwa pia wewe ustahili leo nimekuja nimekuandika kazi imefika tarehe 16 umeamka asubuhi umeenda. Na labda umeniachia hoteli hapo and your cook ama chef. Labor practices means that pia mimi niko na right, ndio unasikianga kuna 1 month notice, kuna 7 days notice, ama kuna pesa unastahili kunilipa. Kama unanifukuza leo basi kuna pesa unastahili kunilipa na kunifukuza unanifukuza aje. So that's one of the things we need to go about. On this section we'll talk about contracts in employment, we'll talk about the disciplinary process, and we'll delve into all those things on notices. Number 2, every worker has the right, 1, to fair remuneration. Fair remuneration, hata sahi minister wa labor amegazette minimum wage. A lot of Kenyans are below the minimum wage. Minimum wages are an average of maybe 12,000 plus minus. But there are some places where it is allowed to go slightly kidogo below at 11,000, 10,000. So things like those. Number B, to reasonable working conditions. Uwezi kuwa umeniandika kwa factory iko na chemicals na uja nipatia protective gear. Uwezi niandika kwa car wash na uja nipatia apron za car wash. And nikiongea hivi najua watu wengi car wash wanaanga hizo. Siku ile nitagonjeka na baridi nikupeleke kotini, utanilipa mamilioni. Siku ile chemical itanimwagikia na nichomeke kwa mkono, unastahili kumlipa. So that's another thing we need to have a discussion on. To form, join or participate in the activities and programs of our trade union. Hapa ndio unasikianga mambo ya KOTU. Kila mtu akona haki ya kujoin trade union ile anataka ya KOTU. But pia hiyo kuna vile unastahili kuingia na kuna wale hawaruhusiwi kuingia. Si kila mtu anaweza kuwa haki yangu kila siku. So we'll have that discussion on that. Then ya mwisho, to go on a strike. Uko na ruhusa ya kugoma. Lakini uamke asubuhi ugome, kuna process pia ya kugoma. So we'll have those discussions na iko katika katiba. Then every employer has a right to form and join an employer's organization. Pia wale tajiri wako kuna organization yao kama KOTU. Hiyo siku tutaenda tuielewe. To participate in the activities and programs of an employer's organization. Then number 4, every trade union and every employer's organization has a right, 1, to determine its own administration programs and activities. Ndio maana unasikianga NAT, KOTU, wale wa KPA, wa Flowers Union, kuna wakati wanapiga kura zao, wao ndio wanajipanga. To organize and to form and join a federation. Unakutanga kama for example, all the flower farms zimejoin ziko na under one person. So they have that right also. Then number 5, every trade union, employers, organization, and employee has the right to engage in collective bargaining. A lot of people, this is now the five elements of the Article 41, and that is what forms the employment laws in Kenya under the Constitution. Everyone has a right to bargain. Kwa sababu huwezi kuja ati mmeshikana employees 10. Mnasema leo tunataka 1 million each. Mtatoa hiyo pesa wapi kama tajiri wenu? Lakini pia huwezi kuja tushikane kama employers pia tuseme kuanzia leo watchmen tunawalipa 1,000. So you can bargain, you can negotiate for your salary, for your working conditions. I don't know if you know that every employer has a condition. Yeah, it's not a condition. He has a responsibility to provide housing allowance or reasonable housing. These are rights that people don't know. And these days, if you do not do that, the court msia kupeleke kotini unamlipa. Na kama mmekufanyia miaka 15, tunapiga hesabu minus 15, tunakashikanisha kanaingiana. So those is the kind of discussions I want us to have. I know these kind of discussions will be very hard for some of us, will be enlightening for some of us, but I believe the essence of this program, the law and you, is to educate and inform and empower you. So join us from next Tuesday at 8 p.m. as we discuss on the issues of employment. Another thing you'll be able to know is that now from this Constitution of Kenya, there was now the Employment Act. Now we'll drill, dig deeper to the Employment Act. We'll also check on decided cases. Court zimesema nini on these particular issues. I don't know if you knew, ukuwa na mimba ufukuzwe, you are a millionaire. I don't know if you know that. Because so we want to enlighten Kenyans for them to know their rights, and even for employers to know what is required of them. Because wengine wanafanya makosa si kwa sababu wanataka, si kwa sababu wao ni watu wabaya. It's just because they don't know or understand their responsibility. For this and more, join us every Tuesday at 8. You can, through our social media programs, ask questions that you want to ask. We'll be joined by other lawyers. Today was just an introduction. We'll be joined by other lawyers, other actors in the industry, in the employment industry. We'll have even question and answer session. It will be interesting. It will be interactive. Please join us. I believe you'll be enlightened, empowered, and informed. I've been your host for today, Kenneth Mbaabu from Kenneth Mbaabu and Company Advocates. May God bless you so much. See you next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Asante sana.